Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Everton versus Norwich City, 3 o'clock, Saturday afternoon, Goodison Park. Anthony Taylor, the referee. There you go. Our friend from VAR last time out against Spurs.
No friend of ours.
And joined by Andy. Andy, game that represents an opportunity for Everton to get back-to-back victories for the first time this season. Obviously, Norwich City turn up at Goodison, bottom of the league. Decent footballing side, but not in great form, so a good opportunity for us at the weekend.
Yeah, obviously we can't take it too lightly and, can't make any assumptions,
No.
but, you look at the fixture, what Norwich have done so far this season, you think to yourself, Everton, even at 80% at the best, should be able to get the result. But, you want to see a good Everton performance, really. You want to see a couple of goals. We want to see us put the game to bed early. We want to see put Norwich under pressure, because when teams are down at the bottom, you can't give them little windows of opportunity in games. I think Everton need to stamp their authority early in the game. Everton have got, picking the right side is going to be important in terms of trying to, they're not going to be a team that's going to sit behind the ball. They do play flowing attacking football, have Pookie on the counter, and, they might have a chance or two on the counter. Hopefully not. But, we need to put the game to bed early, get a goal early, and get the fans behind us. As Ped said on the podcast, the fans shouldn't come with an air of expectation. We need to get behind the play, make it a good atmosphere, if you will, and put pressure on a team that are struggling, really.
Lost 9 out of the opening 12 games, only won 2. One of them was a absolutely brilliant victory against Manchester City, and they played, even though City dominated that game, at times Norwich played some great football and beat City's press quite a few times with some lovely passing football and took the goals really well. Pookie outstanding, and so they've got that in the locker to play that way. They were brilliant in the Championship last season, absolutely fantastic.
Got some really good players. Wendy is a player I watched in the Championship last season. He's a really good creator. Gets between the lines, can receive it in tight areas and create for his teammates. Pookie's a one-touch finisher, really good player. If he gets a chance, he can put it away. And if you look at, his stats this season, he's scored chances that he wouldn't expect to have scored, and XG, if you will. And, and he's putting away chances, so he's taking his opportunities well. And, it's going to be up to Mason Allgate and Yerry Mina, who've come on the last couple of weeks as a partnership. Then, hopefully we'll be able to snuff them out. And, them there, the two, I'd say, would be the two danger ones. Stiepermann's a pretty good player, and El Hernandez. I like Todd Cantwell as well, who plays also in the attacking midfield area. It's defensively, they've got the problems. They've got two really good young fullbacks in Jamal Lewis and Max Aarons, who, Everton fans will have heard Everton link with him before. Who's, good young fullbacks who get up and down. But then you've got Ben Godfrey, who people rate as a centre-back. He's played defensive midfield before. He's still finding his way. Much similar to John Stones when he was quite younger. He's that type of centre-half. And then haven't really got a centre-half next to him who's, quite commander enough, who could lead him through a season. So they are quite open at the back, and hopefully Richarlison, who I think he can score 15, 16, 17, 18 this season. I think he's going to be, I think it's an opportunity for him. Hopefully Iwobi plays, and hopefully, I wouldn't rush Bernard back, but hopefully he's fit to play. And if he is fit to play, I'd like to see him play as well. So hopefully we go with our best attacking options and put the game to bed early.
I mean, it'll be difficult. You've got Tim Krull in goal, who's a good goalkeeper for Newcastle keeper, of course. And he's, he likes a good game against Everton. Yeah. He's put some good performances in. So you're right. We do have to be wary of them. I do like Max Aarons. I think he's he has been linked with Everton a couple of times. I think he's a player who we need, we'll keep an eye on, because he does like to get forward as well. Good. But from our perspective, it'll be the battle of the 4-2-3 ones, probably. Although, a lot of Evertonians want to see us playing 4-3-3.
They showed last season, though, 4-2-3-1, I know people were a bit bored of Everton because of how stale it's got at Everton, but there is a way to play it where it is exciting and it is a lot of movement. Norwich showed last season the Championship, not been able to show as much this season, but if you've got the right personnel, and I think you saw it against West Ham when we did have the right personnel in terms of fluid front three, Iwobi spraying passes in, and you've got Sidibe in the side now as well. It's coming together. I think it's coming together. So, the formation, maybe we'd all like to see maybe a 4-3-3 and maybe get more of more players in the midfield area and have people breaking from midfield, but it's sort of working itself out at the moment with the... Now, I know Sigurdsson played last week, and hopefully he will, because when he came on, he was good against Southampton. Hopefully he's back in. So, yeah, the formation's not really... I think it's still an issue in a sense, but I think it's with the right players, we can still play... we can be at our best really in that formation.
Well, he scored this week for Nigeria against Lesotho,
yeah.
and had an assist as well. He was captain, actually.
Lesotho?
Yeah, them. And the opportunity there for confidence building came on against Southampton, like you say, and played the ball that we eventually scored from Sidibe, and done quite well. So maybe the manager will go for him in the middle, although Gylfi scored for Iceland and missed the penalty as well.
Against Moldova.
And we've had...
Cenk's team.
We've had Pucky, who scored for Finland as well as they qualified for the Euro. So, players in this game who've done well for the country while they've been away on international duty. But I think just from our perspective, obviously the opening 12 games haven't gone the way we would have liked. But we won last time out, which was a big thing going into that international break with an away win. Got that, that out the way because it was dragging on far too long. So this opportunity, a home game against a team who's struggling bottom of the league, but a team who likes to play footy, gives Everton an opportunity to, we're one win off 5th position. That's how tight the league is. So, if we can get these 3 points and be on 17 points on Saturday night, that'll be a big thing, I think, for confidence-wise. It'll make them feel better about themselves. It puts a big gap between the bottom 3-4 teams and Everton. And we can start looking up then. We're going into a very difficult period. We know all about that. But I think if Everton can go to Leicester with back-to-back wins in the Premier League, they feel better about themselves.
Yeah, they will do.
And Leicester have got a tricky away game at Crystal Palace. Oh, not Palace, the tricky game this weekend anyway, as well themselves. So we'll be going into that game if we can win this, thinking we can get something from that. But that only works if we do our job. Now, Norwich aren't a team that's going to come and play the low, I shouldn't imagine, because they haven't really done it this season.
No, they don't.
So they're going to play open football and try and catch us. Set pieces, we've got to be wary. They've got some tall players, and Everton, 50% of the goals we conceded almost have been from set plays.
Yeah, we don't allow many open play shots. I know we haven't, we haven't played many of the top teams yet, so that's slightly skewed. But even so, we are good at suppressing shots. We have got a really good press, which does help with that. And Yerry Mina, obviously, and Mason Holgate have done well in recent weeks. So yeah, we just got to limit their chances. Really, obviously, as I said, Pukki can score from different types of goals from different angles. Just got to keep him off the game, really, and not get caught on the break, because I think it's going to be a game where we are committing men forward, and maybe that's why Schneider maybe should play just screen in front of the back four and not do anything else really. And I think I don't really want to say expect us to win, but I sort of do, because I think this is a perfect game for Everton. I think much like a West Ham, he's going to be quite open for us, and if we can put them under pressure and try and and they don't obviously play through us in any way, then we will win the ball back high and we should create opportunities for ourselves. So.
If you're not confident about this game as an Evertonian, then I suggest there are probably not going to be many games you're confident.
No, I think we are, and I am, but it's.
No, I'm not talking about you. I just mean Evertonians.
No, I think Everton players should be, but they can't have an air of expectancy, because what the Premier League's like. They beat Manchester City, and I know that's a different sort of game, but we should be winning this game.
Norwich have lost 18 of the last 21 Premier League away games. So we don't travel brilliantly. Obviously, Norwich away is always a tough game, because Carrow Road, for Everton especially, isn't great.
Are we good at any ground? Upton Park.
Yeah, there probably is that. West Ham away is not that bad. But, when you look at it like that, but Norwich have kept the joint league low, 1 Premier League clean sheet this season, because basically they are open. They've come up playing a certain way, and you'd have to take your hat off to them that they haven't they've still tried to go with the principles. And I think
it works for some teams, it doesn't. But I think you've got to look. The basic for them is Stuart Webber's the sporting director, and I listened to an interview for them from the summer, and he basically said that they can't really reach forward to change the wage bill, because a lot of players have got a bonus kickers where they went up a wage when they went to the Premier League. And by keeping those players, they couldn't really afford, and because they obviously, I think, expect to also get relegated this season, they weren't going to take on a load of players on Premier League wages, which they would have had to get rid of. So there's a talent gap, and I think they've got some really good young players, and they found some really good bargains in Buendia and Pukki last season, and I think they expect to go down. I think they even said they're 2 years ahead of the plan from where they expected to be.
Oh, okay.
Because Daniel Farke in that first season didn't do great, and then the second season he surprised everyone. They won the title, and I think that they'll go down this season, but I don't think that's not part of the plan. I think they'd love to stay up, obviously, but I think they didn't take on all those players like Aston Villa, who obviously not make or break whether they stay up, but they need to stay up because they took on so many big players. You see, that's the difference between the two clubs. And same with Sheffield United, who I think will probably stay up, but they didn't go out and spend a load of money to try and compete in the Premier League. And that's the difference. I think they're built to go back down.
Like Fulham.
Yeah, so if you look at Burnley, when Burnley came up, Dyche didn't spend a lot of money the first time around. They got relegated and they bounced back up because they only bought championship players when they were in the Premier League, and so they're set up to be a yo-yo club really. And yeah, I think Daniel Farke's a decent manager. I wouldn't go out as far as to say he should be managing. Some people talk about him after the Man City game for bigger jobs, and he's a good coach and what have you not. But I think he should probably stay at Norwich. But yeah, I think that playing the principles is good, and I think sometimes you need to sort of skew them a tiny bit against certain. You just did it against City. They did have to sit back because obviously Man City come on with so much pressure, and they did spring on the counter attack. But I don't think they'll play like that against Everton. I think they'll play relatively the way they normally play, and that'll leave gaps for us to exploit. And Everton have to take the chances in this game, and early, because the longer games go on and we don't score, then the more.
I mean, they'll look at it as a game they can win because, Everton we're not in amazing form. We're strong, we're quite strong at Goodison. But Sheffield United come and I was convinced we'd beat them and they beat us. So I'm confident.
That's what I mean, that's the problem.
I'm confident for Saturday. Of course I am. And I think the way they play makes me a bit more confident. I think we can beat anyone at home, and we generally do. We have got a very strong home record, but we'll have to be on our game. The -17 in the goals, so obviously it suggests they're open. Yeah, one goal Southampton, but they had a 9-0, so excuse that. But you're talking about Aston Villa there, and Aston Villa spent 135 million or something.
I think they spent more in Jan, yeah.
And they're 4 points above Norwich.
It takes time to knit a team together, I guess.
No, but I'm saying, so you're looking at the two sides of it there, aren't you?
They play a similar way, though. They're very open as well, and Aston Villa, Aston Villa, I think, might just stay because they've got a bit more quality about them, but you never know.
Villa beat Norwich heavily at Carrow Road, didn't he? 5-1 or 5-2.
Villa go with obviously we'll get a bit away from Norwich, but when Jack Grealish plays, Villa tend to do better because I think the record with and without Grealish is vastly different in terms of win percentage. But yeah, there's some good players on show on Saturday for Norwich in terms of, I like the fullbacks. I think obviously Ireland gets more the press, but Lewis is a really good young left back, and Ben Godfrey, as I say, he's one to watch, but he just needs to learn a bit more. He needs to get his position sorted. Much like Holgate, really. I think Holgate's probably the underrated part of his game. Is on the ball. He's got 2 assists in his last 3 games, hasn't he? So I think that he's added that a bit of an element to pass off from the back. Whereas at right back, he's not great in terms of on the ball, but from centre back, looks much more assured, and he can drag it into midfield. And that gives us a different element then, because if he can carry it into midfield, then he causes someone to come out of it'll be a medium block for Norwich. So for a medium block to kind of cover his run from midfield, and it opens up space for us, and then we've got players to exploit that. And I hope we do on Saturday. I'm hoping, and for a couple of goals as well for the Goodison faithful.
For Moyes Keane. Are you expecting?
I'd like to see him get some minutes, yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll be back in the squad.
I'd like to see him just play with the Wobie, really. I think that's, whether you think Moyes Keane's ready or not, I don't think anyone before the start of the season thought he was going to score 20 goals this year. And I think in these games, these are the type of games where it's not going to be an overly physical side. It's not, really, it's a young side as well. I think, he can come on with the Wobie behind him. I think the Wobie will put him in. All it takes is one goal to change it,
Oh, of course. Listen, the goal changes everything. And just finally, do you expect Anthony Gordon to be on the bench, or do you think he'll have...
If Bernard's back, no, because there'll be too many. Because then you're going to have to fit Calvert-Lewin. Well, it depends if who starts up front. That's the problem. Everton have got quite a lot of options. I know people probably think we need more options. I know Ped does certainly up front. But, that's the problem. And it's not great for Anthony Gordon because you get that carrot, don't you, and then it's taken away from you. But he's close. He's really close. And I think over the Christmas period, he'll get at least a sub-appearance.
He'll be needed.
I'd like to see him go out on loan in January, really, if we're not going to use him, because there's only so much under 23 football that's going to serve him well,
There you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Are you confident, if you're an Evertonian, that we can get back-to-back wins for the first time this season? If you're a Norwich fan, are you confident you can come to Goodison and beat us? Let us know. Big thanks to Andy. Subscribe if you haven't. Get over to Patreon if you want more videos. Give the video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you later.